We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. There are some ground rules we request all the audience to follow to keep the main meeting productive. Keep your mic on mute unless you are delivering a session or asked to question. Keep your phone in silent mode during the meeting when you speak so that it does not create any disturbance. Please prefix your name with TM underscore if you are a Toastmaster and as guest underscore if you are a guest. As much as possible, keep your video on so that the speaker gets a near live experience and gets motivated by your responses. Please stay in professional posture when you are on video. Kindly stay throughout the meeting and enjoy the Toastmaster experience. Do not exit abruptly from the meeting. Team has taken pains over the past week to conduct this meeting. It will be an insult to exit the meeting abruptly and is not a dignified manner. In case of urgent needs, mention about your exit politely and do so. Please keep the chat window always open in corner and use it for any quick communication when the meeting is in progress. Use it for your communication tool. With this, I would like to introduce our presiding officer for today's meeting is Toastmaster Mr. Saravanan. He is a Toastmaster since 2009 and looking every opportunity to refine his leadership and communication skills. Let's put hand together. Welcome presiding officer Toastmaster Saravanan. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkat Pallai. Good afternoon, Toastmasters as well as guests. How are you all doing?
Great, sir. Very good.
Great. Nice. Nice to hear all those good, warm wishes as well. And I welcome you all to this 686th meeting with the sound of this gavel. Now, I'm glad to welcome the dignitaries who have joined our meeting today. DTM Thomas, DTM Sampath, thank you for joining.
Okay. Sir, we have one guest.
Okay, fine. Yeah, good. Yeah. So, for today, I mean, it's a very special day today. Anybody know about that? Why it's a special day?
No.
This is the birthday of a person who is also called as Iyakunar Imayam.
Balachandar.
Yeah. Very good, Balachandar. How many of you have seen Balachandar's movies?
AB.
Very nice. Which movie can you tell?
Apurvarahangal.
Wow. Very good, very good. Avargal. Lot many good movies, and there is lot to learn from him. So he was a great director, writer, actor, as well as playwright. He has a way of dealing with wordplay as well as screenplay. That is his specialty as well. Even now also, there is a lot of new things that we can learn from his movies. Why? You might be wondering why I'm talking about K. Balachandar, movies, playwright, screenplay and all. Anybody got any connection on that?
Some message will be there, Sarana.
Yeah, right. I'm asking what message? What message?
So, social messages. You will say that do not discredit the person like that way.
Yeah, that is also correct. And one more thing also. Earlier this week, I sent out a mail or message on the list of active role players or like role players who have taken up active roles in the past 6 months. There are nearly 15 who have not taken more than one role in the last 6 months. So I would like to urge upon that and say that just watch K. Balachandar movies. In case if you want any inspiration on any characterization, if you want to write any speech, just go and watch K. Balachandar movies. Because movies as well as screenplay are more important, as well as for the speech also. Speech also has a structure. Movies also has a structure. It has a beginning, end, conclusion, twist, climax, title, everything. So these are the synergies between movies as well as speech. So if you take interest on any of the knot that is happening in your life, whether it is in your childhood days or student days or now also, whatever you can get inspired from, just try to write a story. And you can get lot of inputs from Google as well as from your mentors also. So please ensure that you take up speech at least once in a month. Can I get that confirmation from you? Can you please raise your hand and say, like, at least you will be able to take up some speech in the coming months?
Yes, I promise.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. So now we come to the guest introduction. I can see few guests who have joined. Let us see. Guest Janita, would you like to talk about what is your feedback so far, as well as what inspired you to join these sessions, and what is the expectation as well?
Yes. Hi, everybody. So I'm Janita. So I'm working as a HR in a company. So this is my, I think it's a fourth day I'm joining as a guest in the Toastmaster. I want to join as a member as soon as possible. So definitely I will join. So once I joined, I'll come to that place in person as well, the team. And I want to explore more in terms of public speaking, as well as, like, Saravanan was telling about the leadership skills as well, right? Like, I want to develop that as well. So that's my main motive. Like, I could see, like, a lot of people, they are very much inspired, and I want to learn a lot of things from everybody. So that's the motive of me to learn things from everybody.
Definitely, Janita. Actually, you are in the right place, and this is a very good platform for you to learn many of the stuffs. Okay, and we look forward for you to become a member as well. Please keep in touch with our VP membership, Toastmaster Organization.
Definitely, sir. I'll do it. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Sure. So we will see few other guests as well. I mean, anybody else who would like to share their thoughts? Yeah, I can see you. Yeah, your good name, please, and please introduce yourself, and then let us know about your expectations.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Aravind. I work as a Vice President Operations in a US healthcare company based out of Chennai in Myanmar only. I have known about Toastmaster for quite some time. I did attend a couple of them when it was near the Dadayar signal. After that, I lost touch, and then having seen and experienced that whole thing, I felt it would be a good idea to restart this experience again, and also make my son also to attend along with me. He's 18 plus years, and last year he successfully got into Vellore Institute of Technology and Computer Science. After seeing this in the past, I felt it would be a great platform for him as well to get involved in this, and that will help him hone up his public speaking skills and some of the language things that would be helpful in future. So I'm going to let him come on the screen and say hello to all of you. Your name and your name. Hello, say hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone. I'm Aditya. I'm doing BTech in Computer Science at Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai.
That's all. That's all.
Excellent. Excellent. We call Medley as a second family, and it's nice for your family also to come here and introduce yourself. Please keep coming, and definitely we will look forward for keeping you as a member as well here. Okay.
Thank you very much. May I know who is Shankar in this? I mean, I definitely want to thank him for, okay.
Hi, Aravind. Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you, Shankar. I know I kept bothering you for quite some time. Finally, I'm here. Thank you very much.
No problem. It's our honor. Yeah.
Right. So one more guest. Can one more guest introduce themselves? And we will keep the guest thing going on at the end of the session also. Shakuntala.
Good evening. I'm Sakuntala from Sri Lanka. I have been joining Toastmasters for some time. I'm here. I love to hear Medley Toastmasters speeches. So that's why I'm here. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Keep coming.
Thank you.
Okay, good. So today there are few members who are joining our Medley family. And it is always nice to share the happiness. Right? So I would like to invite Toastmaster and BPM Venkateshan to introduce the members as well as index the sessions as well. Over to you, Toastmaster Venkateshan.
Thanks, Presiding Officer Toastmaster Saravanan. It's a pleasure to welcome and induct our new member, Toastmaster Dr. Anuradha. I request Dr. Anuradha to come on video, please. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very. Yeah. Sorry.
I will complete, then maybe I will give you a chance to speak. Membership in Medley Toastmasters Club and in Toastmasters International is a privilege that carries with it many rewards. Yet, it also places certain obligations upon you. We are a group of people who have come together to do things we could not accomplish alone. Our collective obligation is to grow and improve ourselves and to share our knowledge and experience with our fellow members in a spirit of enjoyment. We ask you, Toastmaster Anuradha, to dedicate yourselves to personal growth and to help this Toastmasters Club strong and dynamic. Please listen carefully as I read out the Toastmaster member promise. In the presence of the members of Medley Toastmasters Club, I promise to attend meetings regularly and prepare fully for each assignment, to apply myself to the program outlined in the Toastmasters manuals, to participate actively in club activities, to evaluate others in a positive and constructive manner, and to bring other new members into the club so that they can also gain the benefit of Toastmasters. Toastmaster Anuradha, will you promise to stand by these obligations?
Definitely. I promise. I will stand by all these obligations.
I request all Medley Toastmasters to please raise your hands. Thank you. As Medley Toastmasters, we pledge to support our new member in their quest for self-development, to provide them with positive, helpful evaluations, to maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere, and to make their Toastmasters membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience.
We will.
Thank you, fellow members. You, Toastmaster Anuradha, you would be presented with the welcome ribbons when you will be on-premise in on-premise meetings. Would you like to share one or two words with the group?
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you, Toastmasters, for this warm welcome. I attended as a guest for 2 or 3 sessions. Actually, I came to improve my leadership skills and public speaking. But after joining or after coming as a guest, I understand listening skill is an important thing. Listening skill also is a very important thing. Then appreciation, then encouragement. Everything I learned from my fellow Toastmasters, and I want to improve myself, and I want to do my best to our club, Toastmaster Club. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anuradha. I'm sure that you will have a very enriching experience in Medley Toastmasters. All the best.
Thank you.
Back to you, Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkat. To take the meeting forward, we have a person called as PMOD, Toastmaster of the Day, who manages the meeting, adhering to the agenda and ensures that it starts and ends on time. Today's session will be driven by an energetic Toastmaster who is an aspiring life coach as well. Please put your hands to welcome Toastmaster Shiva.
Thank you, President, for the warm introduction. Am I audible? Okay. So good afternoon, fellow Toastmaster and guests. So the theme of the day is time of your life. It sounds familiar, right? So we had a meeting, last meeting, we had a similar theme that is about time travel. And it's like a sequel of that. Thanks to our fellow Toastmaster, Moinep, for that wonderful session. He concluded the session with a note that time travel is seemingly not possible in the near future. With that said, we have no option to redo or undo the things in our timeline of life. Hence, we are left with only 24 hours a day, and we have the onus on us to utilize that time fruitfully. You know what the good news is? Time is the only commodity that every human has an equal share. Be it the president of the nation, CEO of a company, or a janitor, everyone has their own share of time. Today, let us go through some best practices on time management and see how we can effectively manage the scarce yet precious resource called time. To start with, we all know everything has a prerequisite. For an effective time management, there is a prerequisite for that. That is to live a purposeful life with a great vision and a detailed plan. Because we cannot take off the flight without knowing where to land. Without a plan, we are planning to fail. Hence, my submission is we should understand the fact that time management is life management. In order to effectively manage time, we should have a plan for our life itself, or at least for the next 3 to 5 years laid out. From this long-term goal, we can easily derive our monthly, weekly, and daily goals. Suppose once you have set all those things, you would have a list of daily goals. But the question is how to effectively achieve those daily goals. We'll explore that as we move forward. Now, let us commence the meeting procedures. For the benefit of guests, I would like to explain the structure of the meeting. The meeting is divided into 3 rounds. The first one is the prepared speech round, where members will be delivering speeches based on the projects on the pathways that they have chosen. The second one is the table topics round, where members can practice thinking and speaking on their feet. This round is also known as the impromptu session. Guests are welcome to participate in this round. The third and final round would be the evaluation round, in which all the prepared speeches as well as other aspects of the session will be evaluated by the general evaluator and his team. To embark with the proceedings, let me invite my companion today, who spearheads the evaluation team, the general evaluator. Today's general evaluator is a passionate Toastmaster for the past 20 years with dual membership for 2 districts. He's also a mentor and a coordinator for a seasoned Gavel club. When asked about how he manages his time effectively, he said that sincere planning has helped him during his service. Now he's enjoying his retired life by following 50% of his planned task. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming the General Evaluator, Toastmaster Sundaresan, to brief about his responsibilities and introduce his team. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Shiva. Thanks for your nice introduction. You made my day. And playing the role of General Evaluator today, I will say feedback is really important for all of us to move ahead. Once I met a world champion in Gulf, they do visit in Gulf countries. When he got down from the stage, I was a chief sergeant at arms who fixed the mic. So he was very friendly to me when he got down. He asked me, how was my keynote speech? He was an American. I said, it was pretty good, but you could have sang nicely. It was a very, very friendly, casual thing. He looked at me, hey man, thanks for your feedback. Nobody has told me this. Thank you. I'll improve my singing. Because in his speech, in between, he has to sing 2 lines, which that day he was horrible. So it was very, very friendly way when I said the world champion said thanks to me. I'll improve in singing. And the next day when the great event finished, he said, I tried yesterday night in my hotel. I can sing very nicely now. Thanks for your feedback. The point was feedback. I was just in a sergeant at arms. So for any speaker, for self-improvement, this feedback is very much important. And this is the luxury we get in Toastmasters. There are self-development organizations throughout the world, but this is the only Toastmasters learning fraternity which provides you one evaluator for one speaker. And a team of people are serving you for your improvement to move ahead. Enjoy and have a good speech. Today I do have a nice team, tag team. We call Toast Timer played by Mohanasundaram, our counter played by Toastmaster Dinakaran, and Grammarian played by Toastmaster Pravda. Now I'll request them. Toastmaster Mohanasundaram, please brief your timer's role.
As a timer, I will time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and evaluations. I will also allow each speaker of the time they have left using green, yellow, and red cards, which denotes a specific times remaining. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will show the green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I will raise a yellow card. At 2 minutes, I will raise a red card. Those giving the speeches should limit their remarks to their specific speech timings. Most of the speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length, except Toastmaster Jagan. At 5 minutes, I will raise a green card. At 6 minutes, I will raise.
Okay. I'll go back to timer again. Next, the role played by our counter, Toastmaster Dinakaran. Let me introduce Toastmaster Dinakaran. Toastmaster Dinakaran is playing the counter role in Medley for the past 3+ years. Feel that not fully leverage the power of Toastmasters, hoping to become better in this term. Good wishes to Toastmaster Dinakaran. Toastmaster Dinakaran, please introduce yourself, playing the role of our counter.
Thank you, GE. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As an art counter, today I will be taking note of all the crutch words or the filler words like oo, but, and any other long pauses. And then I will report at the end of the meeting when the GE is called upon for the report. Thank you. Over to GE.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinakaran. A small request to all the people, because the salute to all those Toastmasters who are present in that hall, IIT Research Park, and I request all the people who are sitting at home and taking part online, could you please switch on your video? It's a respect we are showing to those people who are in IIT Research Park. Please join with me. And next, the grammarian role is played by Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster Pravda. Please brief your role, ma'am.
Thank you, G. Fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests, a very good afternoon to one and all. As a grammarian, I pay keen attention on the English language used, and I will note down the good usage of words and quotes. I will also note down any wrong usage of the language, and I will give constructive feedback for improvement. And in order to improve our vocabulary, it is recommended that we use a new word every day in our conversation. And today I would like to introduce a new word, and the word of the day is explicit. It means stated clearly and in detail with no room for confusion or doubt.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Pravda. Sorry, I missed your introduction. Madam Toastmaster Pravda is a dentist and teach oral medicine and radiology for more than 15 years. 2 years of Toastmasters experience has surely refined her personality as a teacher. But that's great. I have introduced my team. Good to hear. Nice speeches. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Shiva.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for explicitly explaining your roles and responsibilities. Now let us move on with time management. And what is the efficient way to manage our time? So there are so many methods. And the most used and most shared method is the to-do list. I hope everyone agrees with this. How many of you use a to-do list for your daily activities? Can you please raise your hand? Okay, thank you. But how successful? But how successful is this approach? Are you satisfied with this way of approach to time management? Because in my experience, to-do lists are the source of stress for me, since seeing a long list of tasks to do make my day mundane and drain all my energy. I hope everyone agrees with that, because when I was using to-do list earlier, at the end of the day, I could not recollect one day which I have completely crushed all the to-do list goals. So that makes me, at the end of the day, to feel like I'm a loser, and I don't have a good self-integrity or self-confidence on me. So that should be an alternative approach. Is there an alternative approach? Let us catch up later on this. That takes us to the first session of the Toastmaster meeting, that is the prepared speech session. Today, we have 3 excellent speeches to follow. To start with, I'm going to invite the first speaker. The first speaker is an anesthesiologist by profession, working at Cancer Institute of Area. When quizzed about the time management, she goes, planning and prioritizing based on the urgency is my approach. I keep it flexible and try to simplify things and get it done fastly. She's Toastmaster Prasanna Vani, who is the first speaker. I now request her evaluator, Toastmaster Dharan, to read the project and speech purpose statements. Over to you, Dharan.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. The purpose of the speech is for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. All the very best, Prasanna Vani. Over to you, team.
So let us join to welcome our first speaker of today's session, Toastmaster Prasanna Vani, and the title is Isn't It? Toastmaster Prasanna Vani, Isn't It?
Thank you, TMOV. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. How many of you here have watched the movie The Life of Pi? Thank you. For those of you who haven't, the movie is about the ordeals faced by a teenage boy named Pi when he gets shipwrecked and is stranded in the middle of an ocean on a raft for 277 days. The movie was widely discussed for its various philosophical interpretations. The only message I got was, I should learn swimming. As I could just keep my head above water, swimming through my responsibilities of work and family, the actual swimming remained a distant dream. Like any dutiful parent here, I channeled my dreams to my 6-year-old daughter, Tanu, and enrolled her in a swimming class. On the first day of class, Tanu was super excited to wear an aqua blue swimsuit and the head cap and goggles on. She looked like my Olympic champion already. With a lot of trepidation, Tanu stepped into the pool, but was soon put at ease by the friendly coaches there. The first week of lessons went fine. She learned the basic breaststroke movements with a floating ring on. The next week, she was to practice being under the water, holding her breath. Tanu was terrified of this and started to cry. Master, no, master. Mama, no. How will I breathe? What if water enters my nose? I'm so scared. I'll not do this. Please, Mama, please. Her coach persisted. My heart melted, looking at those big teardrops run off her small cheeks. I pleaded with the coach. See, she's very young. She's finding it difficult Can you please take it slow? The coach turned a deaf ear to my concerns and my daughter's cries. He convinced her by demonstrating it himself, was determined to make her do it, and finally asked her if she could stay under the water for just 3 seconds. For my part, I said, Tanu, if you could do it just once on our way back home, you can go to the toy shop and get that Peppa Pig doll you always wanted. Tanu yielded, thanks to Peppa Pig. Now, Tanu took a deep breath and went under the water. The coach started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. I was beginning to get worried. I moved towards the edge of the pool while the coach signaled me to stay away. 5, 6, 7, 8. I started panicking. I bent down to see if she was all right. 9, 10. Beads of sweat appeared on my forehead. My heart was beating fast. 11, 12. Out she came up and took in a big mouthful of air. I breathed too. The coach had a smile on his face, went up to her and said, did you know that you were under the water for 12 seconds? Did anything happen? What are you scared of? Ready? Let's do it once more. This time, she did for 15 seconds. From then on, it was a smooth sailing for her. Wait, did I tell you that the pool was 3 feet height and Tanu was 4 feet tall? How many of us here have felt similarly at some point in our life when we found ourselves thinking, no, I cannot do this. This is not for me. This is self-doubt. To choose doubt as a philosophy in life is similar to choosing immobility as a means of transportation, said Yard Martel, author of the book, Life of Pi. The swimming lessons that my daughter once dreaded are something she eagerly looks forward to now. As I introspect and try to understand what aided this transformation, 4 factors emerge. First, her coach. He did not give up on her despite those copious tears, was willing to put in that extra effort on her and motivated her. Second, the floating ring she had on gave her the much needed sense of security. Third, Tanu remembered that if she could do it once, she could do it the next time also. And fourth, Tanu realized that she was in a 3 feet pool while her own height was 4 feet. Let us extrapolate the same logic to the various life situations when we find ourselves mired in self-doubt. Be it an office project not gone well, a business that is not taking off, a struggling relationship, failing health, or an impending financial crisis. Through all these situations, a friend, a family member, or our supervisor could be the coach we much need. Let us also hold on to our faith, for it is a floating ring which will never let us down. Let us recollect all our past achievements which brought us where we are today. If those things were possible, this should also be possible, right? Dear friends, whenever we find ourselves submerged with self-doubt, let us realize that it is only a 3 feet pool. It can momentarily threaten us, but can never drown us. We are all much taller than those 3 feet, aren't we? Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prasanna. I'm definitely taller than that. So with that, let us move to the second speaker. The next speaker is Toastmaster Saravanan. He is a seasoned Toastmaster who is part of this tribe since 2009. He's always looking for opportunity to refine his leadership and communication skills. Effective prioritization and delegation is his mantra for time management. The second speech will be evaluated by DTM Thomas. I request the evaluator to read the project and speech purpose statements. Over to you, DTM.
Thank you very much, TMOD. Good afternoon, all my dear friends. And TMOD, I'm very happy to see you back. Today,
thank you, sir.
Toastmaster Saravanan is going to make his presentation from the Presentation Mastery stream. It's his Level 2, Project 3, Introduction to Toastmaster Mentoring. The objective of this speech is to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, TMOD. Thank you.
Let us put our hands together to welcome the second speaker, Toastmaster Saravanan, and the title is When the Student is Ready. Toastmaster Saravanan, when the student is ready. Over to you, Saravanan. All the best.
Thank you, TMOD. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Let me twist it this way. When the student is really ready, what will happen?
Student becomes the teacher.
Excellent. And the teacher will disappear. That is more important. This is applicable for mentoring as well. Because I would like to talk to you about two mentors who helped to shape my life as well as my career. They taught me both about explicit as well as implicit leadership. And that is what I'm going to tell about. When we talk about mentorship, the most important thing is how to choose a mentor. The mentor should be understanding, caring, and genuinely interested. That is very important. And we have to find a mentor who is genuinely interested to help us grow. The important point here is there are one important thing that you have to consider when you are choosing a mentor in your organization. Choose a mentor who is 2 to 3 levels above you, because that will help you in visibility as well as knowledge, because they have gone through that already. So they will be able to provide you with lot of input to progress your career. These are the two things I normally look at when I'm choosing my mentor. The first mentor, Krishna. I tell you what I learned from him in my organization when I was with Infosys, and I tell you about the benefits that have come out of that. But before going to that, we talked about mentor and what is needed from a mentee perspective. Anybody? Mentee has to come up with a framework. They have to be very clear on what is their strength, what is their weakness, as well as their short as well as long-term goals. These three are very important: strength, weakness, short-term and long-term goals. And they have to talk to the mentor very clearly about it. And this is applicable for Toastmasters also. When you are joining newly, you can talk about these three parameters in Toastmasters, because an organizational mentor as well as Toastmaster mentor doesn't differ much. So I'm trying to take a pause between these two. From my first mentor, Krishna, when I was with Infosys, the clear thing I learned from him is, if you put your effort for 6 months, the learning you get in those 6 months is equivalent to 2 years of your experience. But if you just roam around for 2 years, you will not get even 6 months of experience also. The knowledge that you gain from your work, that is more important. That's the first thing I learned about from Krishna. The second thing is on the power of minor habits. Anybody know what is the power of minor habits? In the year beginning, many talk about some resolutions, right? New Year resolution. I want to read this much of books, these many books. I want to do this exercise. So, but it fizzles out in next 1 or 2 months. But the power of habit, the power of minor habit is very important because that talks about splitting of things. For example, he talked to me and told that you have to improve yourself holistically. That means if you go for exercise, that means don't do it for a stretch of 1 hour, but that will become unsustainable. So he told, just split your exercise in such a way that 15 minutes and 3 times a day. So it counts for 45 minutes, but it will indulge you in a practice. The second is 15 minutes of calmness. So you can ensure that you be in a calm environment or you do some meditation. So that will help you to be more spiritual. At the same time, it will calm your mind. Then 15 minutes of reading. So 15 minutes of reading on a daily basis for 3 times. That means. So you get a break, but the power of the habit in such a way that that will be inculcated on you. The benefit I got is I got a holistic improvement. I got a work-life balance so that I was able to concentrate both on work as well as my life. And that gave me some on-site opportunities as well. It's not because of Krishna, but because of what I learned from Krishna. The second mentor I want to talk about is Ramesh. So he was my mentor during my TCS days, Tata Consultancy. So he supported me with coming up with a framework. That is people, process, tools, that framework. From a people perspective, it is more important because when you grow up the ladder, you have to talk with people, you have to deal with people, you have to manage people. So that is more important. So the way you motivate, the way you inspire, and way you celebrate success along with them, that is very important and that will elevate your career. So that is the most important thing I learned. Second thing is cross-functional integration skills. When you are dealing with IT department, you have to work with other departments. Automobile department, product development department, purchasing department, finance department. There are so many departments out there. So you have to work along with them. So what is more important is the networking and the way you influence people. So that is also important. And then he talked about ambiguity. Because in the work world, there will be a lot of ambiguity. But how to clear those ambiguities and come up with clarity. From ambiguity to clarity, how you can come up with it. So that is most important. So the important tip he mentioned is how to have known and unknown. See, what are the knowns you have? What are the unknowns you have? When you know about what you know of, when you know about what you don't know of, that is very important. Because when you know something is not available for you, that is where you can work on. So in a project management perspective, you can, if something is unknown for you, you can strengthen that with the help of testing or with the help of monitoring. So these are 2 important things I learned from him. And then I learned about DMAX, DFMEA, all this. Because the benefits I got is I got into a senior level position in my current organization because of this. And choose your mentor wisely, and that will help you grow yourself. Are you ready? When the student is ready, the teachers will appear. Are you ready?
Thank you, Toastmaster Saravanan, for that wonderful speech. Now, let us move on to the third speaker.
Modi, just a minute. We'll just need 1 minute to connect a speaker here in the room.
Sure.
Dinakaran, in the meanwhile, if we could request Venkat Palle's laptop to move away, it is blocking the audience's view.
Bluetooth speaker. Yeah, team over to you. You can go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, Dina. So that speaker, the third and final speech would be delivered by a person who is passionate about music. He's a software engineer by profession, and of course, he loves coding. When questioned about his secret for managing time, he goes, I manage my time using a checklist of things to do, says Toastmaster Jagan. The final speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Shankar. I request the evaluator to read the project and speech purpose statement.
Thank you, TMOD. Toastmaster Jagan is attempting the pathway from persuasive influence level 4, and it is relating to question and answer session. The purpose of today's project is for the member to learn about and practice facilitating a question and answer session. Timer, please note the sessions will be for 15 to 20 minutes. Very all the best, Jagan.
So with that, let me hand over the stage to Toastmaster Jagan for the speech, A Choir of Butterflies. Toastmaster Jagan, A Choir of Butterflies. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Shiva. Dina, can we start?
Just a second. Can you, one of you talk?
So am I audible to you, Dina? How is it now?
Yeah, the speaker is not connected. 1 second.
So if it's connected to the laptop, we may have to change it in Zoom.
Oh, Zoom, huh?
Zoom also we have to change. In the mute button, there is an arrow where we can choose from which speaker we want to. Keeping the microphone as the same, otherwise the microphone.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I start the speech, Dina? Is it done there?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Rohit. Yeah. Timer, I can start now. I want to start the speech with a prayer. A sloga is passed down through generations. You guys may not recognize the lyrics, but definitely will recognize the tune. And yes, I know we shouldn't talk about religion, but before the Zoom master throws me out of the room, hear me out. Ram Ganga Gomati Gagra Kali Gantaka Burhi Gantaka Bahamati Kosi Sarayu Mahanandarapti are the left bank tributaries of the river Ganga. This is how you remember river names. Yamuna Chambal Banasin Betwa Ken Son Tons Damodar Rihan are the right hand tributaries of the river Ganga. This is how you remember river names. Now, why I studied the river Ganga is a story for another day. But what enabled me to remember all those 21 tributaries is the story for today. Mr. Toastmaster, Toastmasters, and dear friends, 12 years ago, I faced an existential question in my life. As a teen, most of my emotions were exaggerated. Thus, when I say existential, it was not. But I was sweet 16. There she was in the first row of the classroom, dusky, charming, intelligent, and musically talented. I had developed a crush on her the moment I attained age. We learnt violin together. A choir of butterflies buzzed in my stomach every time I saw her. But I was struggling to get her attention. Grateful to the circumstances, that Tuesday morning was the perfect opportunity. Does anybody want to read out the laws of physics on page 3? The science teacher threw the ball in my court, the push I needed. I stood up with courage, like a lion to impress the lioness. What happened in the next 30 seconds is etched in my memory. I bombed rather magnificently. I could not read from the textbook. I stumbled, I stammered, and made basic grammatical mistakes. I stood up and all the courage turned into fear. I could not even impress myself, let alone impress someone else. I failed. Dear friends, have you ever felt so helpless in front of an audience? Thank you, Venkat. My public speaking journey started from that incident. It was a culmination of all other failures before that. Not only speaking, but writing was also an issue for me. Never have I scored good marks in English. Then the daunting question came knocking to my mind. What am I doing if I cannot even read from a textbook? My communication was so poor that even after having studied 5 years together, she still didn't know that I had a crush on her. This is where Mata Ganga and I meet. Years ago, someone in the subcontinent chose the spoken word to pass down knowledge. That knowledge today as a sloka helped me to remember the tributaries of the Ganga. A story thrives on how it's told. The story's longevity depends on how relevant it is for the times. Cultures thrive on these stories, and civilizations thrive on these cultures. And all that depends on one thing: communication. That Tuesday morning, I decided to go back to the drawing board. The first step was listening. I started with the BBC, All India Radio, and the English bulletin of the JR News. Later, I moved on to CNN, IBN. It's counterintuitive, isn't it? To speak, I had to listen first. Later, I stopped with the BBC because of the British accent and moved entirely to Indian English news channels. Among them, All India Radio was the most valuable. I was introduced to rock music. Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams. I still remember having a guitar and playing all the strings. Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams was my favorite song back then. I also listened to pop, jazz, blues, R&B. Movies and TV shows also helped me to understand English as a language. The second step was reading. I'm not an avid book reader. Only by 23, I was able to complete a book from cover to cover. But for nearly 4 years, I read the Hindu newspaper almost every day. Nothing is as valuable as reading a newspaper. I was so proud when I understood the words without using the dictionary. I was so proud when I could understand the word using the context. The editorials and the op-eds were of immense help. The third step was speaking. Our college was hardly a place for communication, oratory, or storytelling. All 4 years of my UG, I participated in the only presentation competition we ever had. I made half-hearted efforts to explore, but when I entered corporate, I made use of all the opportunity that came my way. I wanted to speak relentlessly. March 8th, 2016, I got an email with the subject, Infosys Mysore Toastmaster Club invites you for a table topic contest. I decided to enter. I didn't know that guests could only be participants or guests could only be spectators in the contest. So I went in with an intent, like a Chora king, ready to conquer the newfound land. With such attitude, I demanded the organizer, can I participate? He politely turned down my complacent request and explained about Toastmasters. I spoke in every meeting after that. The more I spoke, the more I failed. The more I failed, the more I learned. The more I learned, the more I listened. The more I listened, the less I needed to speak. The fourth step was writing. Writing became a cathartic release as I listened, read, and spoke. If I were to show you the first speech that I ever wrote, which I won't, and compare that with this speech script, they would be poles apart. Earlier, I used a lot of thesaurus to add flowery language. Later, I found that to be less rewarding than using my existing vocabulary, whether speeches, messages, or texts or letters. I write my experience in vivid detail. Dear friends, I feel a choir of butterflies right now in my stomach, and I feel the same way every time I'm on stage. Sometimes they sing off tune, and it is only during those times that I learn to sing in tune. I have become more expressive compared to my sweet 16. The other day, a friend of mine made a flattering comment that she needs to learn the opposite gender magnetism from me. Although completely untrue and exaggerated, if I could take the printout of that comment, travel back in time and stick it on the forehead of my teenage self, I would have fulfilled my revenge. Jokes apart, I have gained in confidence. Language is a strength, especially English, which is so vital in bringing food to my plate. I come to Toastmasters to express myself. While doing so, I've learned one important lesson: to be honest with myself first. It develops trust. It enables me to develop trust in both personal as well as professional relationships. Thank you for listening to me. I still have the choir of butterflies. Now I open the floor to questions.
Jagan, I'm
Yes,
Venkat here.
Yes, Venkat.
Is it true if you're watching movies, English movies, you can improve your vocabulary as well as your communication skills? Because it is very difficult, no, to understand their language as an Indian I'm talking about.
I would suggest what I did was to always use subtitles. I still use subtitles. In subtitles, there is a proper sentence that comes in, even though they may not use the same, but it helps me read. I'm anyway reading that. So it is also part of reading what they are speaking. So the accent, I still don't understand. Even at work, I struggle to understand accent. But what helps me is that while reading them, I'm able to relate. If I were to, I can also lip sync. That's also possible. So all the nerves in my mind continuously work, and up to a point, it helps us learn vocabulary. Up to a point. So there is a base level. Up to a point, it helps us learn. We could learn idioms. They use a lot of idioms. That we can also understand how they are using it, so that we could use it in our own tongue. But up to a point, it does help. Subtitles, I always use subtitles to watch English movies.
Thank you, Jagan. Thank you.
Yes, Venkat. Venkateshan, you raised your hand.
Yeah, Jagan, as usual, it was a very nice speech. You brought up 4 important pillars: listening, reading, speaking, and writing. In sequence, I understood. So can you share, means most of us here are aspiring to be a confident and a successful public speaker, or at least a better communicator than we are now, right? When I relate it with the previous speaker's point, what are the minor habits in these 4 areas that we could practice or start practicing from today that you could suggest to all the participants here?
Okay, listening, again, All India Radio is just, we put on the radio, it's there. Now, I would suggest All India Radio, not the other English news channels, because they use more ahs and ums than we Toastmasters do. The word I, they start, I, even at the start of the sentence, they use a lot of I's. And I got so used, and I said, no Sierra and IBN anymore. I will meet people, talk to them, having meaningful conversations. That also listening. So having conversations in English, that's one small minor habit that we could have. I'm sure Venkateshan is having a lot of them with his 2 kids. All these conversations are small habits. Either it could be in our own native tongue or in English, but having those meaningful conversations will open up a lot of things. That's one thing I would suggest for listening. The second, reading, again, subtitle, as Venkatesh brought out, subtitle reading is also reading. So there is nothing wrong in having subtitles. It is also reading. Reading, I have read the Hindu in his physical hard copy. That has helped me because it's not just the smell. There's something in that physical hard copy. It's not the old school smell alone. But when I do read it in the e-form, it's not as effective as reading it in a hard copy. So that minor habit, if we could spend extra money, get a monthly subscription or yearly subscription for that newspaper, just to read something over, the editorials are so useful. The word ostensibly, I didn't know what the word ostensibly was. The word palpably. All of this, I don't use it in my tongue, but I'm able to understand if somebody were to use it. It's not part of my vocabulary. I don't use the word ostensibly or palpably. But it's still, if somebody were to speak it, I'm able to understand it. That's all that we are required. So I would suggest that small minor habit in listening to be that. In speaking, we are here in Toastmasters, even a 1 minute speech is a speech. We could, what you did today, inducting members, that's also a speech. So the more we speak, and even in work, the more we speak, that adds value. Writing speeches, even if you're doing a timer role, I would suggest to write it. An R-counter role, write it. This is what I would do. I added a touch of, whenever I did R-counter role, I remember the first time that I did the timer role, I was just playing a military game that night before. So what I did was that there was an alarm that went in. And once the alarm goes out, the enemy will come in. So I related that to the timer role. I was able to write that, I wrote it down, and this is what I'm going to speak. And I wrote it. Grammatical mistakes, we can resolve them one by one. But these 4 things for listening, for reading, speaking, and writing, I would suggest these small minor habits.
Okay.
Did I answer your question, Venkateshan?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Venkateshan. Rohit, you raised your hand. I saw. So I'm assuming both of their questions were audible to the audience. That's why I'm not repeating that.
Yes. Hey, I'm Lalita Raghavan. I'm basically from Chennai. I'd like to ask one question. Yes. So you talked about writing, speaking, reading, and other stuff. So I would like to ask one question about writing. So do you think journaling will help or will enhance our writing skills?
Which one?
Journaling.
I am not used to journaling, one thing. So I have very little experience on that. But what I do is I write down my experiences then and there. So whether that is called journaling or not, I wouldn't know, but I write down these experiences, how I'm going through, what I'm feeling. Mostly I talk to myself. I talk to myself what I'm going through, so that the words, this is exactly what I'm going through. I'll be able to pinpoint that one word. I'm more comfortable in English than my native tongue, and that one particular word I will be able to figure that out. So I write that. So both of them, both speaking as well as writing, will help about our own experiences. So journaling, I am assuming by the extrapolation, will definitely help, because it's another way of putting down our thoughts. What I've done, this is my speech, I have it with me. This is also journaling. I've written down my experience here. That's all it is. So journaling does help.
Thank you so much, and it was an excellent talk and motivated each and everyone, I think so. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Lalita. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
Yes, Rohit.
Jagan, you mentioned about All India, listening to All India Radio. So it really helps you in improving your listening as well as your speaking skills. But don't you think those reporters, the news readers in All India Radio, the reason why they are so fluent, and you can see that not even blinking their eyes, that's because they're using a teleprompter.
Correct. Okay, the reason for listening to All India Radio is to get used to the accent.
Yeah. Oh.
And how fluently they are able to bring that up. Now, as I said, I also have a prompt. It's not as though I also, this is the speech that I have. I wanted to keep it because if I forget something. So there is nothing wrong to have a teleprompter. The fluency that they get is, of course, from a teleprompter, as you mentioned, but the intention was to get used to the accent, and if we could replicate the fluency that they have. The exact difference what the other TV shows which do for all these debates and all, they don't have the fluency because they don't have a teleprompter. The lot of ahs and ums that they do. So the idea here is to write down as much as possible, practices as much as possible, and deliver it without the teleprompter. So it's taking the best of All India Radio and using it at our own advantage. What if tomorrow I find a Hindu article and I read it completely? What if I'm the news reporter? Can I do it without the teleprompter? Of course, they cannot do it because they have to read a lot of news. I cannot just mug it up the entire newspaper and then repeat it. But the idea is, how can I do it for 1,000 words? If I can do it, I've done it well.
Right.
Did I answer your question, Rohit?
Yeah, I think that has answered my question. Okay. Okay. Very informative speech, Jagan. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rohit. We can take one more question. Does anybody have? Yes, Rajesh.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, Rajesh, go ahead.
Yeah. So my question is on the theme of the day. So time management. Now you told you read newspaper, Hindu, OPED and that editorial. Then you used to listen to All India Radio and all. You do a corporate job also, and then you do cooking and all, as you have told in your previous speeches. You make rasam and all. So how do you manage your time? That is my question.
So the honest answer is all of that, except the Hindu reading, all of that is in the past. I was using was. So it's not is. I'm not, I was doing it, I started with the BBC News, Jaya News, as well as the All India Radio. I don't continue to do that, so I've moved on to either one of them would be good. So I don't continue to listen to All India Radio. I listen to the English songs. Of course, it's a part of my playlist. There is a constant listening goes on, but it's not the same as All India Radio. It's not the All India Radio again, but some part of listening is going on. Some part of speaking, I'm speaking right now. Some part of writing, because I've written the speech. In minute details, I've written the speech. And not only that, some part of reading is also going on. So it's not necessarily All India Radio, but some or the other way is going on to my mind. Regarding time management, we'll discuss offline, Rajesh.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rajesh. Janita, I hear you have raised your hand, but we are almost ending on time. Can we do it offline or after this?
Okay, no problem, Jagan. Yeah, we'll do it offline. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, for listening. This is a 20-minute speech that I've delivered for the second time. Thank you. I'm grateful to the audience. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Jagan, for that thought-provoking and informative speech. So may I request the timer to name the qualified speakers alone? Timer?
I have just admitted it.
I believe timer got disconnected, but all of them are qualified. But Mohan is there.
Okay, thank you. So now let's continue with.
Sorry, Shiva. Mohan is there. Maybe we could connect because I was a speaker. I noticed, but let it come from him itself.
Yeah, Mohan is back. I have admitted him. Mohan?
It's not on audio. We can continue on this.
Okay, thank you. So let us continue our discussion on time management. So we earlier said to-do list has its own flaws, and we are talking about an alternative approach. So this approach is called as time blocking. So within the traditional to-do list where we enlist all the activities and do it one by one, but with this time blocking approach, you can block your time for each activity that you have scheduled for your day. With this, you're drawing a boundary from any other external stimuli. Hence, you get into a bubble where you can transfix yourself onto that one task instead of juggling between multiple tasks. It also enables you to entirely focus on your complete cognitive bandwidth for that one activity. Why it is so relevant and important in today's world? Because in this cyber era filled with pings, dings, and rings, this tactic makes you immune to distraction. By this process, you can also allocate a fair share of time to all our important areas of your life, thus entering a balanced way of living. With that said, it is time for us to enter the most exciting part of the meeting. That is the table topic session. Today's table topic master hails from Odisha. He's a chartered accountant by profession and currently working for Disney. He manages his time by maintaining a timesheet and checks out his productivity at the weekend. Please help me in welcoming today's table topic master, Toastmaster Rajesh Shahu. Rajesh Shahu, over to you and all the best.
Thank you, Dear Modi. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of table topic master, the speaking time is only 2 minutes. Here, you need to think on your feet and speak. So you won't be given a script. You just need to come on the stage and speak. Minimum, you need to speak for 1 minute, maximum for 2 minutes with a grace period of 30 seconds. So total, 2.5 minutes. In this, so it will enhance our impromptu speaking and on the stage fear. Now, given the time, I will introduce a topic and call upon contestant to speak. My first topic is hard work versus smart work. And I would like to call DTM Sampath, if he is available. From June.
Rajesh, just one moment. Timer is not here. Oh, he has joined back because timer was not there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can we just check whether the moment is correct? Okay.
TMOD, please confirm whether the timer is connected, whether he can give signal. Please confirm, Mohan Sundaram.
Yes, sir, I'm connected now.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yes. Hard work versus smart work. DTM Sampath. Sampath is there. DTM Sampath is there.
He is not here, Rajesh.
Can you call someone here? Yeah. Yeah. So, guest Arvind, can you please take this off? Hard work versus smart work. You need to speak for at least 1 minute, maximum 4 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. And for the benefit of those who came a little later, my name is Arvind. This is my first meeting here. Primarily.
Little back.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. primarily, I want myself as well as my son to, enjoy this experience of knowing the language and, gain confidence with public speaking. Hard work versus smart work, I can relate to my professional life, with the career spanning over 25 plus years. What I have seen is that one cannot replace the other, and both are complementary, is my view. While the jury is out more towards smart work, but just by doing smart work alone would not help. You need to do your hard yards first, understand what it takes to perform, and then look at to see how much of that can be replaced with a bit of a smart act, is how I have seen my experience. So that's my view. And I also would like to kind of point out that, given the various generations, generation X, generation Y, generation Z, in my industry, I am pleased to kind of notice that the generation Z is more excited about doing more and more of smart work, and looking hard work as not so much smart about it. Having said that, some of the talented Gen Zs also realize that it's not just going to be smart work, it also has to couple with the hard work. And that's when people become a lot more innovative, and which is very exciting to know. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, guest. It was good to know about the hard work has to be done to, move it to smart work. So the XYZ example that you gave, that was very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks. Next is I want to call for a topic. Intelligence is not enough. Intelligence is not enough. For this, I want to call guest Janita. Guest Janita, yeah.
Yes, hi. Can you just repeat the question once? I'm sorry, I just missed you in a second.
Intelligence is not enough.
Intelligence is not enough, right?
Yeah.
Okay, done. Yes, I can start now. So, very good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and the guests. My name is Janita. So, thanks for the topic. Intelligence is not enough. It's when we talk about intelligence, there are two things. One is EQ and IQ. This emotional intelligence also plays a major role in everybody's life, right? So if somebody is really intelligent on one side, they should also be equally talented in the other side as well. So we have to concentrate on both the things. So this intelligence quotient and the emotional quotient also, we have to always give importance. So that's the main thing. So if somebody is really intelligent, they have to take a lot of steps to learn things in their life. So that is the first point I would say. So the next point, if somebody is really talented and they are not able to manage the emotional side, then that will be a problem. So they have to manage both the things well, right? So that is also another important thing. So intelligence is alone is not at all enough. We have to improve certain things in life to develop our other set of skills as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guest Janita, for this valuable speech on intelligence is not enough. Rather, we need to have the emotional intelligence also into our life. Yeah. Thank you for that. The next topic is a glass half full or half empty. A glass half full or half empty. For this, I want to call guest Pandeshwari Polraj. See here.
She's not.
In the Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay. Guest Pandeshwari Polraj is in Zoom. Speak low. No, this is not there.
No, she's there. She's there.
Speak low. Guest Pandeshwari Polraj. Hello. Guest Pandeshwari Polraj, are you there in the Zoom meeting? Okay. I need to call somebody else there. Guest Rajan Basara is here. You and take it up. A glass.
This one. Oh.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, give another topic. Why it's sometimes necessary to lie? Why it's sometimes necessary to lie?
Hi everyone. So this is my.
Madam, Venkatesh பேசுறேன்.
Venkat, could you go on mute, Venkat?
Sorry to disturb you. Can I know the name of the speaker?
I'm Rajam Vasara.
Sorry, hello?
Rajam Vasara.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Can we repeat?
Why it's sometimes necessary to lie?
Okay. So hi everyone. So I'm Rajam Vasara. This is my first public speaking. So I haven't spoken before like this. So yeah, I have a very big stage fear. So please don't mind me if I stammer in between or if my language is a bit bad. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So from my childhood, I have lied a lot to my parents, to my colleagues, to my friends, and I won't say that it's wrong to lie. It's about the situation where you lie. So sometimes it might benefit the opposite person. So in such cases, it would be fine even if you lie. But you should just remember that you shouldn't lie to yourself. So that is more important. And yeah, that's all that. Yeah, thanks. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Next is why books are better than movies. Why books are better than movies. For this, I want to call Toastmaster Venkatesha. Toastmaster Venkatesha, are you there in the?
Yes, I am there.
Yeah.
What is the question?
Why books are better than movies?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Books are better than movies. Movies, audio and video, you will listen and you cannot keep it so long. The next movie you happen to see that will not be in their memory. Books, for example, my intuition, I can tell any Tirukural I have studied in the 9th standard. Out of 50 Tirukural, with the starting or ending, like the beginning of the Tirukural or the ending of the Tirukural word, if you say, immediately I will repeat it, more than 30 years. That is the difference between movies and books. Once if you are reading books, applying your mind, everything will be stored in my mind. That will be applicable even in my profession also. Whenever I used to read the draft, I will check the words, like Toastmaster Jagan was explaining about that word. Like I used to catch the new words. Now, before Toastmasters meeting, I was working for one rejoinder, and I found the words like pain of ignorance, dissimulation, clandestinely. Immediately, I will make a note of this because of reading habits. When you are reading books or papers or any other thing, even the complaint draft or rejoinder, my mind will make a note of these words. These words will be stored in my CPU, central processing in my brain. At any time, it can be retrieved. But movies, one movie like K. Balchandar, he was talking about Toastmasters Saravanan. You will talk about the Tabu Rangal, Manadal Urdivatam, the last movie is Sindhu Bhairavi. You will talk about only Sindhu Bhairavi plus and minus. You will forget about the Tabu Rangal because your memory will be overlapping. In my view, books are best friends, and through learning books, you learn more things. Thank you for nice table topic master. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Federation. It was nice to hear that. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was nice to hear that reading books will have, imprint in our memory rather than, movies which will fade away. Thank you for that nice speech. What will I do when I retire? What will I do when I retire? And call Toastmaster Rohit, please.
Thank you. Thank you, TT Master. Very good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. What I'm going to do after retire, it is a very scary prospect because I've never thought about retiring. I have really long way to go if I have to retire, at least about good 25 years. So retirement is not even in the picture. It is out of question at the moment. It is really not running in my mind. So it can be anything. Retirement, it is up to you. You may retire at the age of 30, you might retire at the age of 50, you might retire at the age of 60 also. But it depends how long you want to go, how long you want to push yourself. And even if you want to go retire at the age of 60, what are you going to do post 60? Do you want to just sit at home and do nothing? So retirement, there are also, you can only, if you are stuck in a profession where you have to you can keep working. So like when you go, if it is agriculture or farming, there's no retirement age in it. You can keep continuing as long as your body and your mind is fit. You can keep continuing. You can keep working in that field. So there is no retirement. There's no upper limit when or retirement age when you come to farming or agriculture. So that is my future take. That is to get into farming or agriculture, because at any point of time when I get out of the city, so if I need to have a more balanced, a more peaceful life, probably I would get into farming because there is no retirement in it. So the moment to conclude, I would say that there is retirement is not in my dictionary. It is not in there. I don't even look at sitting at home. I'm not doing anything. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rohit, for this nice, discussion on retirement as no age. I think we have one more minute for another speech. So for this, I want to call. Okay, the topic is renting a house is better than buying. Renting a house is better than buying. For this, I want to call guest Sudarshan. Is he online? Huh? Is he online? Guest Sudarshan?
Yes, sir, I'm online.
Yes. Do you want to repeat the topic?
Renting a house is better than owning a house.
Buying.
Renting a house is far more beneficial because you don't have any liability. You can just get in, pay the rent for the month, stay there without having more responsibility. If you own a house, you have to maintain it, we have to pay tax for that, and a lot of liabilities around ownership. And we have a lot of options. If we go for rented houses, we can have multiple options, but owning a house, you cannot afford like you rent a house. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Time is over. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, table topic master Rajesh Shahu. And so Rajesh Shahu was wearing a hat of table topics master earlier, and for the last question, he put on his chartered accountant hat, I believe, and went for the rental versus owning a house question. That's good. Well done, Rajesh. So let us continue our discussion on time management. Okay, so we now come to know blocking at our time with time boxing is more efficient than the to-do list. But even though we have a lot of tasks in our hand to block every day, so what would be a better approach here? So remember the saying, how to eat an elephant, one bite at a time. So that's how we chunk it. That's the power of chunking. So for instance, we can segregate our daily task into 4 segments with a theme for each segment. In my example, I follow the principle of reserving a time block for my morning routine where I do my meditation or yoga. So that sets the tone for my day. And also I reserve a block for the evening routine, which is journaling and reflecting. So these 2 are mandatory for in my schedule. And after that, the morning routine, I have a block for deep work. That is almost 90 minutes where I focus on my major project without any disturbance. And after that, the post-lunch session, which is a mundane session, and that I allocate that for replying to emails and do some administrative tasks like follow-ups. So if you segment your day like this with intent for each section, you can easily achieve not only efficiency, but also fulfillment. That's the power of chunking. With that, now we come to the all-important session of evaluation. To proceed with that, I welcome the general evaluator. Over to you, Toastmaster Sundaresan, for the evaluation session.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shiva. Toastmaster
sorry to interrupt you. Timer, can we have the qualified TT speakers alone?
Yeah, sure. Yes, Janita, Toastmaster Venkatesan, Toastmaster Rogit. So they are qualified, and so I have only taken the notes from the guest Arvind.
Okay. Thank you, Timer Mogna Sundaram. So over to you, Sundaresan, for the general evaluation.
Thank you. Evaluation session is very important in our Toastmasters fraternity. It's a share and grow session. I remember these words, grow through what you go through. Practically, we are growing by attending every meeting in this learning platform. Today, we had 3 speakers, and we do have 3 evaluators. The first evaluator is Toastmaster Dharan. He's a sports person. He talks about gym. And now I request Toastmaster Dharan to evaluate the speech delivered by Madam Toastmaster Prasannavani. Over to you, Toastmaster Dharan.
Thank you, Jay. Give a big round of applause to my target speaker, Toastmaster Prasannavani. The swimming pool is only 3 foot and you are 4 foot. Just jump in. What an energetic and motivational speech out of your day-to-day activity. Toastmaster Prasannavani, I thoroughly enjoyed your speech. let me tell you the things I really like about your speech. The speech emotion. Throughout the speech, your vocal clarity was crystal clear. You added emotion wherever required, especially when you are explaining about your daughter preparing for the dip inside the water. Those caps and swimming suit, I could easily visualize that I'm just standing outside of the swimming pool where I could see the same scenario. I could easily recollect my swimming learning days as well. The emotion of the speech was real and it motivated people to believe in themselves and take action out of their comfort zone. Second thing, metaphor and articulation. You beautifully connected your daughter's swimming class and people's self-doubt and immobility. The articulation worked very well and it supported the core idea strongly. It gave a strong conviction and believability that we should believe in ourselves first and jump into action confidently. In Toastmaster, we have a room for improvement. So let me tell my room for improvement. The tempo of the speech was a bit of linear. I observed the same energy from the beginning to the end of the speech. It would be great if you reduce the speech tempo whenever required, especially when she is coming out of the that dip, and when you reduce the energy, when you showcase. So this is the real example of when you go out of the comfort zone, and that's how the experience. So when you cut down the tempo, when you showcase that particular emotion, it will really connect the speech. To summarize my evaluation, your speech emotion was real and it connected everyone who all got scared of taking action out of their comfort zone. The sincerity and energy of the speech was high. If you work on the tempo of the speech delivery, you are going to be a keynote speaker very soon. All the very best for your future speeches. Over to you, G.
Excellent, Toastmaster Dharan. It was a very friendly evaluation from you. I appreciate you for using those words, metaphor and articulation. Really, it helps the speaker to improve. For the Maran Toastmaster Prasannavani, as a general evaluator, you gave an excellent speech. The real emotions you showed in your words when your daughter was underwater. And my only request as a general evaluator is you can add a bright smile in your speech, which will add value to your speech. Keep trying. Okay, good luck. And for the second speaker, Toastmaster Sharavanan, we do have evaluator is DTM Thomas. DTM Thomas, let me introduce as he feels as an evaluator. Toastmaster Thomas believes that an evaluator who summarizes a speech is questioning the ability of the speaker to communicate or questioning the comprehension ability of the audience. Now I request Toastmaster Thomas to give the evaluation speech for the speech delivered by Toastmaster Saravanan. Over to you, sir. DTM Thomas.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, all my friends. In Toastmasters, the miracle called Toastmasters, central to the whole magic is mentoring. And today, Toastmaster Saravanan gave us instances and showed us how it works and from his own experience. So I must compliment you. First thing I found was there was a conviction. He was convincing to me, partly because it is his experience, and secondly, because the setting was familiar, the corporate setting, which all of us go through, like it or not. Second thing, out of that, arising out of that, he was confident. He had his ready smile, which is not easy to smile and talk, but he did that. And he used his hands, essentially one hand, at times both hands, to support his thoughts. So that shows sincerity. What I liked most was the pauses. It takes guts. It's like a late cut in cricket. You got to get the timing right. He did that well. That comes from confidence and experience. Also, when he asked questions, he didn't ask questions because the manual says it's good for your rhetorical device. No, he genuinely wanted it. How do you know that? He asked a question and he had the patience to wait till people asked. That shows sincerity of it. So it went beyond a technique of engaging the public. So these are the first things I liked. And also, when the student is ready, ... I wondered, what is this? Curiosity is always a good thing to throw at the audience. Now, my thoughts, my suggestions based on this. Taking the topic for such a lovely topic, if it were printed in the agenda, then all one of us would have speculated, anticipated, what is this? What is this? So you would have had a ready audience when you started your first. Second point I have is, you give us theoretical tips on how to select a mentor. Had you explained how you used those tips yourself when you selected Krishna and Ramesh, that would have been nice. Third point, episodes from your interaction with both of them could have given us a better understanding of both these people going beyond the names. They are just names for me now, Krishna and Ramesh. Little more we would have understood. My last point is, no, in fact, these are the main points I would stay with that. Now, essentially, life stories bring interest. So the conviction you could carry, because you talk from a position of having arrived in a leadership position and using all those terminologies like, going up the ladder, having arrived, those add conviction. If you had added your own personal stories along with conviction, interest would have gone up as also memorability. So talking from a position of having arrived in the management position, you carried conviction, you could also enhance it further with these thoughts that I had. Over to you, GE.
Thank you, Toastmaster Thomas, as a second evaluator. You are an awesome listener, sir. And all the points which you mentioned, certainly I wish our Toastmaster Saravanan notes down and implies all those things and improve the scale of good, better, best. One day I want to see him as the best speaker here. And coming to Toastmaster Saravanan's speech, mentor-mentee is a favorite topic in our Toastmasters Club. And today when he narrated the benefits of a mentor and of learning and how it benefits every member, I felt like an education module. Someday I wish to hear an education module from you, Toastmaster Saravanan. Keep good. Appreciate that. For the third speaker, Toastmaster Jagan, who delivered his speech, we do have the third evaluator, Shankar. Shankar is a Toastmaster, a cost accountant by profession. He has 16 years of experience in finance and working in HSBC Bank about a decade. Presently, he is working in one of the US MNC as a function head. Now I invite Toastmaster Shankar to deliver the evaluation speech for the speech delivered by Toastmaster Jagan. Over to you, Toastmaster Shankar.
Thank you, GE. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Toastmaster Jagan. To be honest, I think I'm getting an echo. Is it? Hello? Okay, I think, yeah. Thank you. Okay. Toastmaster Jagan, to be honest, this was one of the explicit and the fantastic speech that you had delivered today. And one more hat on your feathers. Congrats, Jagan. So I have listened, most of your speech, but today's speech something different than others. Let me tell you why. So you had control, your pace, excellent pauses, and the usage of extraordinary words, which is very importantly, and the delivery made your speech into an extraordinary level. I strongly believe that your speech is getting matured on week. Bravo, Jagan. So I really loved this project. There are various reasons. The first reason this is the combination of prepared speech evaluation as well as the table topic. And since this project you are expected to do that, there could be some of the possible questions from the audience. I am very sure that definitely you might have prepared for those questions, and some questions like impromptu, where you need to think on their feet and response to the answer. I think you have greatly managed with the audience. And the 4 pillar which you had explained was very commendable, and that is, I strongly feel that it is a need of ours in everyone's life, that is listening, reading, and speaking and writing. Why I'm saying that, so normally when the speech is delivered, no, most of the people will refer with no, some other people. I think you had brilliantly portrayed that. You had stated your own examples, starts from period from BBC, CNN, Jaya News, and All India Radio. The next one, which I really amazed about, the taking the control of audience, getting clarity on their doubts in a pleasant manner. And finally, I see that whenever the no, you are the answer it is clarified, you are checking with the audience that whether they have when they have received the very well response from the audience. And third and finally important thing is, since it's the Q&A projects, you had already informed in the Medley WhatsApp group that this projects require for Q&A session, and you need the audience to ask for the questions. I think you are well managed. Coming back to the improvement area is that one which I find that one of the audience questions which was not clear, at least for me, probably you may be paraphrasing that question, and definitely that would be helpful for all of us. And second, very important thing is at the end of your speech, a quick summary that would refresh with all of the people. And the third and very important thing is, I think uh, somewhat you might have received any one of the tough questions. Probably it would be good if you mention it, if any tough questions which you received, and how you are responding for that. Overall summary, so this was a fantastic speech, and if you could work on that some of the improvement area, all your speech would be an amazing one. And over to you, GE.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shankar. It was an awesome, friendly evaluation points. It was nice. And Toastmaster Jagan, your speech as a general evaluator, I look at as a package with you link that listening, reading, writing, speaking, all this stuff in a nice way, plugging in the humor at the right place. When you said that how you struggle to impress the classmate, it had a very good point. And relevant to the Toastmasters, you asked a question also, have you ever stood helpless in front of an audience? Why not? We all Toastmasters have gone through that particular thing, even though today we can speak confidently in front of others. And I saw a beautiful articulation from you when you use this one line. I wanted to speak relentlessly. See, the way of telling that you love English language, I understood the way you pronounce that word relentlessly, and you gave importance to each word in the line. Because people speak in a particular line, giving importance to the first word and skipping the last word. But you gave importance from beginning to end. Each line you delivered in a nice way. I enjoyed your speech. We all enjoyed your speech. Overall, you managed a question and answer session in a very nice way. As a general evaluator, I found politely and with clarity. Because question and answer session ultimately at the end of the day must have clarity. Whatever they asked, you politely answered it, and you gave explanation, and you went an extra mile to convince them. It's a good habit of a facilitator. Overall, it was an excellent speech from you. Round of applause for all the three speakers. A round of applause for all the three evaluators also. Excellent. Coming to the report, now I will see. Then I'll go to the general evaluators report later. First, let me request grammarians report from Madam Toastmaster Pravda.
Thank you, G. It was really exciting, and I really enjoyed listening keenly to everybody's speech, noting down wherever there was good use of English language and outstanding words. Those words that I found out to be outstanding is, during the speech session, Toastmaster Prasannavani, she used submerged with self-doubts, copious tears, and she also used outstanding words like pleaded, introspect, extrapolate. Toastmaster Saravanan used words like synergy, ambiguity. Toastmaster Jagan used words like half-hearted efforts, ball in my court, ostensible, relentlessly, thesaurus, vivid, magnificent, and much more words. I couldn't take up many words. I couldn't follow many of his words. He used n number of new words. Toastmaster. Then during the TT session, guest Sampath used innovative. Janita used emotional quotient. During the evaluation session, Darren used crystal clear metaphor, articulation. DTM Thomas sir used conviction, throwing curiosity, speculate, anticipate, theoretical tips. Toastmaster Shankar used phrases like feather on the cap, portrait, amazed, paraphrasing. And general evaluator, Toastmaster Sudarshan, Sundaresan sir used sharing growth and fraternity. And these are the words that I have made. Made a note of. Thank you. Over to G.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Pravda. Let me give my quota also, which I forgot.
The word of the day, explicit, was used by Toastmaster Shiva and Toastmaster Saravanan. Thank you.
Thank you. Today's session was so explicit. All the guests might have understood our Toastmasters format. Madam, I have given my quota, explicit. Thank you, ma'am. And next I request Toastmaster Dinakaran to read the accounters report. Toastmaster Dinakaran. I couldn't see a thing. Yes, sir. He's here.
So, today, I'm very happy to be part of this meeting. It's one of the meetings where all the role players, be the TMOD or the speakers or the evaluators or tag team, the guest speakers for the TT, everyone has done a wonderful job. Because I would say that I would like to have a big round of applause for all the role players. Where the speech was very smooth, it was very free-flowing, and there was not much of any filler words or catchwords. It's a wonderful meeting, and it's very happy to be part of it. And then happy that I'm playing the account role because my job was very it was so smooth, and then it not much of a work for me. Thank you. Over to you, G.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinakaran. You are a good listener. For the sake of guests and new members, I will say we are here learning to reduce the number of ahs and oohs, because by practice it comes out unknowingly sometimes in our speech when we start, especially in table topic. Most of us say ahs and oohs, but by attending more meetings, we can reduce the number of ahs and oohs and repetitive words. Please keep attending the meetings. Now, next is timer. I want to clarify, timer requested me to call last. Are you ready, Toastmaster Mohan?
Yeah, yes.
Please go ahead. Now, Toastmaster Mohan will read the timer's report.
Under the prepared speeches, Toastmaster Prasanna Vani, 6 minutes 25 seconds. Toastmaster Saravanan, 7 minutes 25 seconds. Toastmaster Jagan, 20 minutes 16 seconds. For the table topics, guest Arvind, 2 minutes 40 seconds. Guest Janita, 1 minute 20 seconds. Guest Rajam Vasudra, 49 seconds. Toastmaster Venkatesan, 1 minute 57 seconds. Toastmaster Rogit, 1 minute 50 seconds. Guest Sudarshan, 47 seconds. And last evaluation sessions, Toastmaster Dharan, 2 minutes 33 seconds. DTM Thomas Yapragam, 3 minutes 20 seconds. Toastmaster Shankar, I'm really sorry that it happened, and due to the uncertain internet connection, I couldn't log in your times. Over to the general evaluator.
Excellent, Toastmaster Mohanasundaram. We know we can understand there was a technical glitch from your side. It happens in these meetings. Keep going. And coming to the general evaluators report, seeing the roles, Sergeant at Arms started the meeting with a friendly smile, Venkatpalli, and presiding officer gave an excellent speech as usual, and Vice President Education Toastmaster Session gave the new members induction in a very friendly way. Round of applause to Toastmaster Venkateseshan. Excellent, keep going. And Toastmaster Shiva, who played the role of TMOD. Friend, I know you as a debate speaker of Medley. Last year, we all formed a team and we competed. And afterwards, you were missing for several meetings. Wish to see you in all the meetings in future. You mentioned a lot of good points under the heading of time management. It's one of the favorite topic of Toastmasters, time management. You presented it in a nice way. So coming to the role players, next is table topic master, Toastmaster Rajesh. Toastmaster Rajesh, hope he is here. Excellent topics. You're in the hall, yes. Excellent topics, appreciate you. But you could have, suggestion as the general evaluator, you could have covered more speakers if you would have been fast. Just work it out in your flow of words, because every second, every minute matters in our 2 hours meeting. Certainly, you covered 5 to 6 speakers, I can understand. You could have covered 10 speakers if you would have spoken, because we know the format. Explain the format and jump into the topic, and like a marathon speed, conduct the table topic session, because I'm one of the fan of table topic session. Today being a G, I know I cannot take part, but you can accommodate more speakers. It's a message for all. We can accommodate more speakers if table topic master is pretty fast in the flow of words. It's a learning experience, Toastmaster Rajesh. I appreciate you. Some of the topics I have noted down here. I'm going to copy some of the topics from you, Toastmaster Rajesh. Excellent. Having said all these things, as a general evaluator, I like to appreciate the XCOM for organizing this meeting, online, offline, technical glitch, both all these things. But we go ahead. We are deciding and we are going ahead, and appreciate the leadership, Toastmaster Sharvana, because teamwork, synonym of Medley, Medley synonym of teamwork. I salute all those Toastmasters who are present in IIT Research Park room. You all have gone an extra mile for attending this meeting. A small request to our president. If you can send a gentle reminder one day before, people will organize themselves. I'm a retired person. You call me at night, 12 o'clock, I'll come for Medley meeting. Any meeting throughout the world, I'm attending at odd hours also, just for time pass. One day before, please send one reminder, one gentle reminder. People will organize and they will make sure. Attendance was pretty good. President Sharvanan, at one stage I found 22 head count. Here online showing. I think then you have to add those people in the hall. I think it's an excellent and a very good initiative. We can see more guests nowadays in our meetings. It's a very good sign. It's a healthy sign of the club also. Thanks to all those senior Toastmasters and Toastmasters who bring those guests. So, and it depends on our XCOM to make them potential. First, they have to become potential people regularly attending and members. Good wishes to all. Overall, I enjoyed this session. Thanks for giving this role, general evaluator, and good wishes to you all. Hope I haven't missed anything. Only I'll be missing that samosa and tea, which may be outside. It's okay. I'll tell my wife to bring one more cup of coffee. Good wishes to you all. Over to Toastmaster of the day, Shiva.
Thank you, General Evaluator. What a session we had. 3 extraordinary speeches, excellent teaching session, and finally an informative evaluation session. I wish to record our appreciation to all the role players and speakers. Please put a kind round of applause to all the speakers. So with that, I'm handing over the stage to our president. Over to you, President. Thank you.
Thank you, TMOD. Please give a big round of applause for TMOD and his team. Excellently done. Thank you. And I wish all the role players, it is excellently done. Thank you for that. I especially like the relatable PT session. Okay, some of the topics are very relatable. What will you do if you are retired? Okay, and whether it is rent versus buy, all these are very relatable. Thank you for that. Nice topic. And I would like to take this opportunity to recognize some of the efforts of few Toastmasters. Toastmaster Venkatpalli, Toastmaster Rajesh Shahu, and Toastmaster Prasanna Vani, who have come early, and all others who have helped the setup of Zoom as well as Room integration. Thank you very much for that. Then one of the important things I mentioned during my initial speeches was on the speech and the levels that we are completing. Right? So I would like to commend the efforts of Toastmaster accreditation who completed his level 2. Toastmaster Jagan, who has completed his level 3 as well as today level 4, and he is on track for triple crown. All the very best. And when you complete your level 5, you will be completing all the 3 at the same year. Okay, very good. And then myself also level 2. Okay, your hands too. Okay, right. And then Prasanna, and you are on track for your level 1 as well. And we are keeping on track, and all the very best. And complete those level 1 very early. And all the others also, please keep a track of your pathways and where you are currently, and ensure that you are completing those tracks, because that not only helps you to come up with your communication and leadership skills, but also will give you a sense of satisfaction as well. That is more important, because at the end of the session, what is more important? The sense of satisfaction. And you will get when you thoroughly prepare for a speech, deliver in front of the audience, and get valuable feedback from the audience. Well, now, like, if the voting is sent, please send. Do you have the voting link, or like, can we ask the team to send to Sergeant Town?
The voting link has been shared in Zoom as well as WhatsApp.
Okay. Okay, nice. So if that is the case, like, let us now hear the feedback from the guests. We are right on time, 5 o'clock, so we can accommodate few guests also. From the room, we can start. Anybody would like to come and share your thoughts on how this session went and what is the feedback, and if there is anything that you would like to say for us, from both from a recommendation as well as advice process.
You can call some guests here.
Yeah.
Next meeting.
Okay. A warm good evening to each and everyone here. And this is the first time I'm attending the Toastmaster, club, and I have no idea about what will be going on here. Just, I communicated, randomly, I found your club and this club, I mean, especially the Adayar club. And then randomly, I tried to get your contact number from Facebook page. And then I communicated with Mr. Wenger, and he diverted me to attend this meeting. And he asked me to join the group, and he gave me all the links. He provided me all the links, and then finally we found this place. Okay, even though my home is very near to this place, it's I have come with my husband to this place very often for attending the PMP meeting project management, because he's working in IT. When I came first, I felt, oh, it's going to be really boring like that. I felt, because, I have no thought about what will be going on here. And then slowly, gradually, I got some, kind of attention, and, now I feel very good about attending this meeting. And I'm thinking I'm going to register myself as a Toastmaster. And yeah, it's a very happy evening and happy learning. So I feel very good about attending this session. Thank you so much, one and all.
Definitely. Actually, this is also one of the PMP sessions, if you wish. Okay, so you can also learn a lot about communication as well as leadership skills in these sessions. Definitely, there is a lot of learning. Anybody else? Okay, from Zoom, anybody else? Maybe Janita?
Yes, Saravanan, I will. So the today's session was really interesting, Saravanan. So it starts from the theme of the day, time of your life. The next, we got some sort of speech from Sundareshan sir. He mentioned that feedback is very important for all the people. So that feedback is very important. The mentorship also he talked about, right? That is really I'm just admired about his speech. And today, I admired all the three prepared speeches by President Ratnavani, by you, and by Jagan as well. Jagan, he mentioned about listening, reading, and speaking. Definitely, I thought like once he completed his speech, I immediately thought, no, like definitely I am going to follow like certain things about his. Like I thought of asking him some doubts. Probably I can check with him in offline as well. So that's the thing. It's quite very interesting all compared to all the 4 weeks, maybe Saravanan. So that's from it. It's really very interesting. Looking forward to learn a lot of things from you all people. So that's
Definitely. Yeah, definitely, Jinta. I have to tell you, like, I mean, you are a good listener, okay, and you have a very good observation skill. Please do come and do join our session, and please get in touch with our PPM Toastmaster organization and get yourself be a member too. Okay, I like to see you as a member.
Definitely, Saravanan, I will. Yeah.
Fine. Anybody else? Maybe Arvind.
Sure. Everyone, once again, I think I am attending this after a gap of maybe 5-6 years. I think I could not avoid the feeling as I was going through the proceedings that why did I miss these 5 years? So that's an honest thought from my end, and I definitely feel that if I continue attending this, it's a great value for me for the role that I do, and I was also able to relate to the benefits of this in a professional life as you grow in your career. So thank you for having me here, and I'll continue to attend. Is the promise that I'm making for myself.
Definitely. Actually, we also have a promise called the Toastmaster promise, and please do come and do share your knowledge, and we also learn a lot from you. Okay. Now it's time for announcing the best performers for today. Best speaker, Toastmasters Jagan. Yeah, this is for you. Okay. And best TT speaker, Toastmasters Venkatesan. I hope you all see. Best evaluator, DTM Thomas. Best role player, V Toastmaster Sundaresan. Best tag role player, Toastmaster Pravda. I think Toastmaster Pravda, this is the second consecutive time. Okay. All the very best and make it a hat-trick. Okay. Fine. With this, we have come to the end of this session, and I thoroughly enjoyed this session, and I hope you also thoroughly enjoyed this session as well. And with the sound of this cable, I declare meeting number 6